Have you ever spent hours worrying about something that never even happened? Or maybe you are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling in the dark.
Yeah, that is a very familiar feeling.
Right. And you are just replaying a conversation in your mind over and over again, like a movie on repeat.
Oh, it is exhausting.
It really is. You think, I should have said this, or why did I do that?
And then you wake up the next morning feeling totally tired, even though you were just lying in bed all night.
Exactly. Your brain was just working overtime.
Well, today we are taking a deep dive into this exact feeling.
Yes. We want to understand how to stop overthinking and start actually living.
Right. And since we know a lot of you listening are working on personal growth and maybe even practicing your English along the way, we are going to keep our conversation clear, simple, and very focused.
It is a great mission. And it is important to state right away that if you do this, if you lie awake worrying, you are not alone.
Definitely not alone. It is a very common human experience. You might feel like you are the only one who worries this much, but it is a shared struggle. However, to break out of this struggle, well, we have to understand the trap we are falling into.
So let's unpack this trap. When I think about overthinking, there's an analogy I really love to use. I like to compare overthinking to, running on a treadmill.
Oh, a treadmill at the gym. That is a brilliant way to picture it. Let's think about how a treadmill actually works.
Yeah. Imagine you are on that treadmill. You are moving your legs incredibly fast. You are breathing hard. You are sweating.
You're using a lot of energy.
A massive amount of mental and physical energy.
Mhm.
In your mind, you are imagining bad scenarios. You are analyzing past mistakes. And you are worrying about tomorrow. You feel completely exhausted. But then, you turn your head and look around.
And you realize you haven't moved an inch.
Exactly. You are in the exact same spot in the room. All that energy, all that sweat, but zero forward progress. You are not moving forward in your life. You are just running in place.
That is really the perfect definition of overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overthinking is simply using your mind so much that you get stuck. You think too much about problems. You think too much about your past mistakes.
And future things too, right?
Exactly. You spend a lot of time imagining future situations that haven't even happened yet.
So instead of solving a problem, your mind just spins. You focus entirely on the negative things.
Yes. We often tell ourselves a lie, basically. We believe that if we just think about a problem long enough, we will solve it. We believe that worrying is a form of preparation.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Right. But it really isn't. Instead of helping you prepare, overthinking just creates stress. It creates confusion. You imagine 100 different bad outcomes, and the result is always the same. You become frozen. You stop taking action.
Okay, wait, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Because sometimes I feel like thinking carefully is a good thing. Let's say I am writing an important email, or I am planning a project.
Yeah, you want to do a really good job.
Right. I want it to be perfect. Why is wanting to be perfect a bad thing? Isn't careful thinking just a sign of caring?
That is such a natural question. It feels very responsible, to want to be perfect.
It really does.
But here's the fascinating psychology behind this. The desire for perfection is usually a mask. It is a disguise.
A disguise for what?
Well, perfectionism is actually the thing keeping you stuck.
Keeping me stuck. How does wanting to do a good job keep me stuck?
Because true perfection does not exist. It is impossible. When we look at the root cause of why people overthink, it almost always comes back to one simple emotion.
Fear.
Fear. Wow, that is a heavy word.
It is. You are not overthinking because you are responsible. You are overthinking because you are afraid.
What exactly are we so afraid of, though?
A few things. We fear failure. We fear rejection from other people. We fear looking foolish.
Nobody wants to look foolish. Exactly. And because we are so deeply afraid of making a mistake, we try to create the perfect situation in our minds first. We think, if I can just plan for every single possibility, I won't get hurt.
Wow. So we are trying to protect ourselves. We use our thoughts like a shield to hide behind.
Yes.
But the shield becomes a cage. We stay inside our own heads and we never actually do the thing in the real world.
That is exactly how the trap works.
So let's bring this down to reality. Let's look at how this fear actually tricks us in our daily lives.
Okay, let's do that.
Think about a scenario that is probably very relatable to you, our listener. Imagine you are learning a new language, like English.
A great example.
And you are about to speak it in front of a group of people.
That is a highly stressful situation for most people. Walking into a room, knowing you have to open your mouth and speak words you aren't completely comfortable with.
Yes, you are standing there, you want to join the conversation, but before you even open your mouth, the treadmill starts. Your mind starts a rapid downward spiral. It starts throwing panicked questions at you.
Right. What do those questions usually sound like?
Well, you think, what if I make a massive mistake?
There is that fear of failure we just talked about.
Or what if I pronounce the word wrong and everyone laughs at me?
The fear of rejection. The fear of looking foolish.
Yeah. And then what if I totally forget my words and just stand there in silence?
And as your mind asks these questions, it begins to build a very scary fake reality.
A fake reality. Explain how that works.
Your brain is incredibly powerful. When you imagine people laughing at you, your brain actually reacts as if it is really happening.
Wait, really?
Yes, it releases stress chemicals. Your heart beats faster. Your palms get sweaty. You feel genuine panic.
Oh, wow.
In this fake reality inside your head, everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
The problem feels massive.
And because you feel that real physical panic, you just decide not to speak. You stay quiet. The fear wins.
But let's look at what usually happens if you are brave enough to actually speak. Let's say you take a breath, you open your mouth, and you say your sentence in English. What is the actual reality?
The reality is usually completely different from the fake movie in our minds. When you finally speak, you almost always realize something surprising.
That it wasn't as difficult or scary as you imagined.
Exactly. The fake reality was a monster. The actual reality was just a normal moment.
Maybe you did make a small grammar mistake, but nobody laughed. They just nodded and understood you.
Or maybe you forgot a specific word, but you pointed to an object, or you found a simpler word to use, and the conversation just continued. You survived.
You survived. And this reveals the most important truth about overthinking. We build huge mountains in our minds, but in reality, it is usually just a small step.
That is so true.
The problem exists almost entirely in our imagination, not in the physical world.
Okay, so if we know this, if we know that overthinking builds a scary illusion that freezes us, how do we break the spell? How do we step off the treadmill and get back to reality?
There are practical ways to pull yourself out of the illusion. It starts with 5 clear solutions. Let's walk through them, and as we do, let's lock in some really powerful vocabulary words that are great for everyday life.
I love that. Let's build our mental tool belt. What is the first solution to stop the mental treadmill?
The first step is to focus on the present moment. And our key word here is exactly that, present.
Present, which simply means the current moment, right here, right now.
Right. So you'd have to pull your focus away from the past and the future. Think about the mechanics of worry. You cannot change yesterday. Yesterday's already gone.
Yeah, that is true.
And you cannot truly predict tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't here yet. If your mind is living in tomorrow, it's living in a fake reality.
Wow.
But if you force your mind to focus on right now, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the colors in the room, the task right in front of you, your brain cannot run away to those scary fake scenarios.
That makes a lot of sense. If I am terrified about a presentation I have to give on Friday, I am living in the future. I need to bring my mind back to Tuesday. I just need to focus on today.
Exactly. Which leads us directly to the second step. Take action instead of waiting. And our key word here is action. Action is the exact opposite of overthinking.
Right, because it means doing something instead of only planning or worrying.
Precisely. Because waiting just gives your brain empty space to fill with new worries. Remember the treadmill. Taking action is how you step off the belt. Step 3 is a tough one for a lot of people. Accept that mistakes are normal. And the best word to describe this mindset is growth. Growth means improvement over time.
Growth. This is hard because we are trained from a very young age to hate mistakes. When we are in school, a mistake means a big red mark on our test.
It means a bad grade.
Right. It means we did something wrong. So as adults, we walk around with this imaginary red pen in our heads, constantly grading ourselves.
That is a perfect way to describe it. We are terrified of the red pen.
Okay, let's look at step number 4.
Step 4 is to stop trying to control everything.
Honestly, I struggle with this. I like control. Having control feels very safe to me. So how does giving up control actually help us feel better? It sounds terrifying.
It does sound scary at first. But let's look at the reality of control. The desire to control everything is another illusion. It's a trick your mind plays on you.
How so?
Think about your daily life. Can you control the weather?
No, definitely not.
Can you control the traffic on your way to work? Can you control what other people think of you? Can you control if someone else is in a bad mood?
No. I can't control any of that.
Exactly. We only control our own actions, our own words, and our own effort. And that brings us to the fifth and final practical step. Practice gratitude.
Gratitude, finding things to be thankful for. But how does that actually stop overthinking? Isn't that just positive thinking?
It is actually about brain mechanics. It is very difficult for your brain to hold deep, panicked worry and deep, genuine gratitude at the exact same time. They are competing emotions.
Oh, interesting.
When you force your brain to look around your life and identify things you are thankful for, maybe you have a warm cup of coffee, maybe you have a good friend, maybe the sun is shining, you give your brain a new job.
You are actively interrupting the worry spiral.
Yes. And underneath all of these steps is a core philosophy. It's a simple rule for how human confidence works.
Yeah.
Action reduces fear.
Action reduces fear. I want to pause on that because it is so important. Action is the cure for the fear.
Think about it. Fear thrives in the dark. It thrives in the unknown. When you are just thinking, everything is unknown.
But when you take action, you turn the unknown into the known. You turn on the light.
And the second part of that philosophy is just as important. Experience creates confidence. That is our final vocabulary word. Confidence is the strong belief in yourself.
But notice how you get confidence. You do not get confidence by thinking. You cannot sit alone in your room worrying for hours until you suddenly feel brave enough to face the world.
It's like learning to ride a bicycle. You can read 10 books about how to ride a bike. You can understand the physics. You can plan for perfect balance.
Right, but you will not have confidence until you get on the bike, pedal, and probably fall down a few times.
Exactly.
This all makes so much sense, but we know that in the heat of the moment, when the panic starts, it is hard to remember these big concepts.
It really is.
So let's give our listeners a very practical tool, some daily mantras, short, useful English sentences that you can repeat to yourself when you feel the mental treadmill starting to speed up.
These are great to say out loud. They interrupt the spiral. The first sentence is very simple. I will focus on today.
I will focus on today. When my mind runs to Friday, I gently pull it back to Tuesday.
The second sentence helps with that heavy backpack we talked about. I cannot control everything.
I cannot control everything, and it is okay to admit that. It is actually safe to let go.
The third sentence is how we step off the treadmill. I will take action.
I will take action, even if it's just one tiny step forward.
The fourth sentence is for the imaginary red pen. Mistakes help me learn.
Mistakes help me learn. They are not failures. They are the data I need to grow.
And the final sentence is perhaps the most powerful of all. I choose progress over worry.
I choose progress over worry. Why does that specific word choose matter so much in this sentence?
What is so fascinating about the word choose is that it reminds us of our own power. Worry often feels like something that happens to us. It feels like a storm that rolls in and takes over our minds.
Yeah, we feel helpless.
But progress is a deliberate choice.
We have to actively decide to move forward.
Exactly. You choose to open your mouth and speak the new language, even if your grammar is messy. You choose to send the email, even if it isn't perfect. You choose progress. It is a beautiful, powerful rejection of fear.
I choose progress over worry. That is the kind of sentence you should write on a piece of paper and stick to your bathroom mirror. Read it every single morning.
Definitely. So, as we connect all of these ideas from the exhaustion of the mental treadmill to the fake reality of fear to the incredible power of taking action, we arrive at a very clear final message.
Yes, let's bring it all together. What is the ultimate takeaway for you, the listener?
The truth is, you simply cannot enjoy your life if you spend all of your time worrying about it. Life is happening right now in the present moment.
If your mind is always living in a scary, fake future, you are missing out on the real beauty of today.
It's like watching a movie of your life instead of actually living it. We need to think less and live more.
Because the future is built by action, not by worry.
No amount of anxiety will ever change what happens tomorrow. But the actions you take today will build the foundation for a better tomorrow.
You cannot worry your way to a better life. You have to build it step by step with your own hands and your own voice. The best moments in our lives usually happen the moment we finally stop worrying and just jump in.
Don't let the habit of overthinking steal your happiness. It takes practice, but you can learn to step off that treadmill.
It does take practice. And remember, the goal here is not to be perfect at this immediately. The goal is just growth.
Yes, exactly.
To practice catching yourself when you start to spiral. To practice your English. To practice taking one small action.
Start small. Just one real step forward today.